Hey guys, my name is Tariana. I am an intuitive tarot reader. I create hairstyle and healing content on this channel sometimes, So if you're interested in videos like that, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and don't forget to turn on your post notifications because you don't want to miss another upload. I also would like to say, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button because I'm already knowing that you're going to love this video already. As you seen by today's title, we finna get into the tea about shadow work and what is shadow work, about shadow work, and how shadow work how it affects you and benefits you at the same time. So if you wanted to know how to think about that, then carry on watching to this video, sis. Okay, period. Well, shadow work will help you integrate your shadow and accept every single part about yourself, so that way you can live with more clarity, more self-awareness, and more like authentically to yourself, and stuff like that. So what is your inner shadow? Your inner shadow is your inner shadow is the composed parts of you that you subconsciously reject. This requires you working with your unconscious mind to uncover parts of uncover parts of yourself that you repress and hide from yourself. So, like, if I don't like a certain thing about myself, I'm definitely not gonna show that to nobody in the world because I don't like it. So why would I don't need somebody else's judgment of this, that, and the third, somebody else judging me because of this, But there's also there's so many different inner shadow parts of ourselves. Like, for example, we have a persona, where, the mask that you wear to the world while you protect your inner self because you don't want nobody to see this parts of you or this, that, and the third, So you got to put on this facade and stuff like that. You also have a part inside of you that is a hero that loves to overcome any evil or any destruction that comes your way and stuff like that. See, your shadow, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Your shadow is you can actually use your shadow for good. You don't have to use your shadow for bad and stuff like that. You can also identify the bad things that's in your shadow and turn it to good, and that way you just be more powerful, more. You also have your shadow side, where your shadow side is basically like your dark emotions, your dark emotional aspects of yourself that's a part of your psychic in a sense, so that's just that. I also wanted to say, so the negative effects that can happen when you ignore your shadow is you can start self-loathing a lot. You can also have anxiety, depression, and lying to yourself and also lying to others. You can also have very offensive behavior, self-sabotage a lot. You start projecting onto others, like saying if you saying something about somebody or whatever because they mirroring something in you that you liking, so you try to project onto them that, hey, this, that, and the third, but the whole time it's just a projection of what you really feel about yourself. So that's just what that is. You can also have very, very a poor self-esteem and overinflated ego, just too egotistical. You can also be struggling with having healthy relationships, all because your shadow not healed. You're not trying to heal your shadow. You just trying to run from it because it's a darker version of you or whatever. But I truly believe you have to balance out your yin and your yang in order to just be overall peace from within yourself, not just on the outside, just peace from within. That's peace within, baby. It's always good, okay. But once again, your shadow side can have a negative impact on your well-being if it's not balanced. Also, when you reject this part of you, it's actually craving to be understood and explored more. That's one thing I wanted to say. But we finna get into the tea on how to start shadow work, and then we gonna follow up with how to start for shadow work, the benefits of shadow work, and the tips and things that I would recommend. So let's get into the tea. So how to start shadow work? First, you need to you need to know if you need to go to a therapist, or you're gonna start doing shadow work on yourself, because involving shadow work, you're literally facing traumas, fears, things that you've been through, that basically you facing your traumas, some traumatic experiences and things like that. So if you have major traumatic experiences, I definitely would recommend 100% go see a therapist. go see a therapist. Okay, I'm not gonna stretch that enough. Go see a therapist, and I would recommend a therapist for that, just because they would dive deep into the root of this, that, and the third, and they also would give you information about how to help it and stuff like that. They can also help you notice things about yourself, notice particular habits and routines about yourself that you may not even be aware of. So that's why I would recommend 100% a therapist, you know, because we can do so much on our own, you know, but I would invest into a therapist regardless, because that's your mental health, you know, and that's just how I look at it. One other thing I wanted to say, that you can start, if you want to take the own route of yourself, you know, start doing shadow work on yourself. You can start by practicing. You can practice spotting your shadow by seeing your daily habits. Pay attention to your triggers. You will be able to see your shadow more by noticing your projections. I would recommend exploring parts of yourself I would recommend exploring what parts of yourself that you may have been treated badly when you were a child. Ask yourself, what emotions are you repressing? Basically, like a lot of childhood trauma that you just repress and stuff like that. Dive deep in the nitty gritty of them, okay? To figure out a solution on how you gonna go about healing those certain wounds and issues and stuff like that. Another thing I would say, when you get into like how you start shadow work, is avoiding shaming and avoid shaming yourself. Show a lot of compassion towards yourself. Practice saying loving words to yourself instead of like self-sabotaging and speaking negatively about yourself. Practice, you know, trying to balance out that by speaking words of encouragement to yourself, loving yourself, and pouring into yourself. I said I would recommend like having other people notice good parts about yourself too, because other people giving you compliments would actually help add to that as well. And well, genuine compliments, not the people who just out there trying to gaslight you. So we ain't finna get into that. That's another video for another day. Okay. So one thing I also wanted to say, for example, you could say words like this, like, I trust myself, I believe in you, and I am safe no matter what. You know, saying stuff like that, like those type of affirmations can actually help allow you to see the compassion, you know, allow you to express the compassion from within yourself. I also will recommend start meditating to observe the triggers that cause emotional reactions within you. Then meditate on them so that you can step back and observe what's happening. Let yourself feel how you're supposed to be feeling. Don't like block off how you feeling because it feels so intense, you know. But that's how you know you're doing the work, when you feeling it. If you feeling it, then you healing it, okay? That's my little thing over here. So I also would say keep a shadow journal to safely express yourself. I remember when I first started diving into spirituality, the first thing I invested into was a journal. I was writing. At first, it took me a long time to get in the habit of writing, because I'm like, what am I writing for? Like, why am I doing, you know? But then I realized when I started to write to myself and actually explain how I'm feeling and express, I'm able to communicate more of my needs and exactly what I wanted. Everything was just so much clearer once I started to write everything out, because I'm the type of person that live in my head and I stay in my head a lot. So it's hard for me to sometimes it's hard for me to be out of that when I'm so far in it, you know. But I would definitely recommend keeping you a shadow journal. You know, anytime you feel angry or just doubtful or just not feeling yourself or just whatever, like you just want to write, just write in your journal. Speak to yourself, talk to yourself, like pour into yourself, talk to yourself as if you're your own therapist, you know, stuff like that. So that's what I would recommend. I also would say start expressing yourself in a creative way. Start expressing yourself in a creative way. Like you can start painting, you can start journaling, you can start singing, you can dance, you can do whatever. You can start creating stuff, like you can make rings, you know, necklaces, whatever that makes you whatever that is kind of like a creative, artistic way how you can express yourself. I would definitely recommend that 100%, because you would definitely start to see the good parts in your shadow that you actually hit off, because you thinking it's either because you was either shamed about something as a child, or it's either like you probably just thinking doubtful of yourself, like, you know. But allow yourself to explore deeper in yourself. Allow yourself to explore yourself, you know, and stuff like that. So the benefits that I want to get into, like the benefits that you would gain from doing shadow work, is you would gain more confidence in yourself. You will also improve your creativity. You will build healthy relationships, practice self-care a lot. You would discover like hidden talents about yourself, parts of you that you ain't never really realized, you know. You can also improve your wellness, it improves your wellness, increases your compassion, and have like a lot of clarity, you know, so things just won't be just so mind bottled. That's the one thing I would say. So the overall goals of doing shadow work is, the main goal of shadow work is to develop self-awareness, self-acceptance, and compassion for yourself and others around you. And just with that is a lot. That is very powerful for someone to even do that. Like, that is really a lot. I also would say another goal would be like, you know, that's the overall goal for it, you know. And another goal is just like, by accepting your shadow self, you can start seeing how your thoughts and emotions influence your behaviors and stuff like that. For example, the shadow is associated with trauma. This type of work help you work through your traumas, and it also embraces the parts of you that you've been suppressed and shamed for a long time. So go ahead and get you in some shadow work tea, okay? Because you probably need to balance out your yin and yang, because, child, there's some people out here I done seen when I say they need more balancing than ever. But, you know, kudos to those people. Everybody on their own journey. Everybody coming in at their own time. So the tips that I would recommend is keeping an open mind. You know, practice your self-love. Be patient with yourself. And both during and throughout your journey. Like, be patient with yourself. Don't rush through your healing journey, because at the end of the day, you're gonna always be healing from something. We gonna always, as humans being here on earth, we're always gonna experience trauma, like, you know. So that's just something that we just gotta learn how to work through and not let that take the best of us, like, you know, and stuff like that. Just how to work through it and overcome that, you know. We ain't gonna say that was just there to just pull us down in life, like, you know, stuff like that. So that's what I had to say. I also would say, make sure that you carve out time. Like, it could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes out your day. Like, you could just write a little prompt in your what's it called, in your notes in your phone, talking to yourself, you know, just something small. It don't have to be something big where you have to carve out like 30 minutes or an hour of your time, you know. Just carve out a little of your time to focus on your shadow work, rather than you trying to multitask. Like, you trying to get this done, get that done, this and that. Like, just carve out some time where you just sit there and you can meditate and talk to yourself, you know. And then it says, not talk to yourself, but like, get the clarity that you need and just write everything out. I will also take time to reflect on your progress too. So far, like, I would definitely recommend reflecting back on your progress too, because in the last 3 years of my life, ever since I started my spirituality journey and everything, like, I noticed a lot of growth within myself and on the outside too. Like, I noticed a lot of my ego has been maturing. It's not fully mature or whatever, but the girl's just been maturing on so many levels. It's crazy. So yes, and that's all I have for you guys. So thank you guys for taking your time out for watching this video about the shadow work tea. I really hope that this video was very informational for you guys and you guys really enjoyed it. But sorry guys, I have to go. More nothing less, guys. I'll talk to you guys another time. So stay blessed. Peace.